You're watching the PoliticIt Podcast.
Good evening. Welcome to PoliticIt Podcast. I'm Senator John Johnson. We've got Scott Presler with us today. Nice to have you. I've watched a lot about you. Let's talk about you for a minute, because some of our audience won't know who you are, but most of them will. So
thank you. Well, they're probably wondering, Senator, why this hippie is on your show right now here in Utah. And definitely they can tell I'm not from here. No, I was born in Florida, son of a Navy captain, Eagle Scout, and I was inspired by President Obama. And you're like, oh, he's probably a Democrat. No, I was inspired by President Obama to take change because I saw our country going in the wrong direction. And I firmly believe, as I've learned in life, that if you're not the solution, you are the problem. And so I wanted to be a change maker. People can't see at home, I'm wearing my cowboy boots. First job helping to elect Governor Greg Abbott. And over the last decade, I helped to both elect Donald Trump as a team, as a family, and re-elect him as the 45th and 47th president. And I'm on a mission to help save our country. That's why I'm here in Utah.
That's really great. So let's talk about this thing in Utah. You came out to help Chairman Axson basically with Prop 4, right?
Yes. Well, thank you to the GOP, because I know in 2018, and I'm not here to be a troublemaker, but my understanding is that when Prop 4 was first passed in 2018, there really wasn't a lot of opposition. It was millions and millions of dollars spent from outside groups for Prop 4, but not a lot of opposition because people just thought, it's not going to pass, not going to be a big deal. And then in 2018, it only passed by 50.34%. See, I know my numbers.
Yeah,
I studied
right.
with people.
Right.
And now we have a rogue judge that isn't following that what the people of Utah voted for should have been a recommendation on maps, which actually became binding maps, not recommended. And now a rogue judge is forcing through not the independent commission's map that was drawn, but basically a Democrat map.
Right.
And so if you're the people of Utah, if I'm the people of Utah, I'm sitting here wondering, why did we even vote for Prop 4 when it's not even being followed through to the letter of the law?
Right.
And I'm the voter registration guy. I'm the election integrity guy. I think that every lawful vote, one person, one vote. And I'm here to give people choice in Utah that let's actually have a vote on it again and see if Utahns want to go through with keeping Prop 4, or are they going to vote against it because it's not being followed as it should have been since 2018.
Right. Yeah, I think that.
Is that a pretty accurate thing?
Yeah, I think so. Especially, there was an article that came out in the editorial board of the Salt Lake Tribune, and it just drove me crazy because they said the judge followed the law. And what's interesting, she didn't follow one piece of the law.
She followed her law.
Yeah.
She's trying to write law, and that's not what judges do. This is a separation of powers. You have a Utah state constitution for a reason. You have a state legislature for a reason, and you have propositions voted on by the people for a reason. Right. Judges are not supposed to come in and both interpret and create law. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and so that's this whole push now with repealing Prop 4, really, right? Putting it back on the ballot.
Choice.
And telling people, is this what you voted for before? It got out of hand. If you go read the voter guides on Prop 4, it basically says, look, here's what it's going to do. It's going to recommend maps to the legislature, right? For over, since this whole initiative thing got put in the Constitution of the state of Utah, it's always being interpreted as, this is a statute just like any other statute. Mm-hmm. People have a right to put a statute in there, but it's a statute. It's not a constitutional amendment. And so, yeah, it's interesting how that's got really twisted. But hey, for a second though, let's talk about you. I want to talk a little bit more about you. you went to Pennsylvania. Tell our audience why you did that. Why did you move to Pennsylvania?
Well, I spent a month in Pennsylvania prior to the 2020 election. And we all know what happened. That was a stolen election where Joe Biden was installed by fewer than 60,000 votes. 20,000 in Wisconsin, 10,000 in Georgia, 20,000 in Arizona, 80,000 in Pennsylvania. Despite COVID, despite the mail-in ballots, it still was a very close election. And that month, I traversed the whole Commonwealth, traveling literally everywhere, going from Allegheny to Erie to southeast Pennsylvania outside of Philly, all over, knocking on doors. And I really felt that Pennsylvania was going to go for Donald Trump. And ultimately, we know what happened. And just in the back of my mind, something always just kept saying, go to PA, go to PA, go to PA. And so I never stopped. Even after the 2020 debacle, kept investing in the grassroots, kept registering voters, kept building party apparati, kept watering the plants in that state, preparing for 2024. And going into 2024, I decided if I split my resources between Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, I'm not going to be able to do the best job. And I said, if you're going to do one thing, you do that one thing really well. So I bought a home in PA just to register to vote for Donald J. Trump. And I hired 84 staff across Pennsylvania's 67 counties to help register voters to elect Donald Trump. And we focused on our Amish, hunters, moms and dads, sorority sisters, fraternity brothers, all of these truckers, all of these different groups. And part of the reasoning behind it, Joe Biden ultimately was successful in PA by 80,000 votes. There are 80,000 truckers. Truckers are serving us. Let's get them a mail-in ballot. Let's get them to vote early. There are 90,000 Amish in Pennsylvania. Let's get them a mail-in ballot because they get married on Tuesdays in November. Fraternity brothers, they may be in Pennsylvania, but living in Maryland. Get that vote in Pennsylvania. And so I very meticulously focused on groups that were underrepresented. We got them registered to vote, and we got them out to vote. And Donald Trump won Pennsylvania as a team, as a family,
Right.
by 120,000 votes, more than 2016, more than 2020. That was a slam dunk, and it was a mandate in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for the Republican Party. And even Dave McCormick flipped a Senate seat and won by 15,000 votes. Voter registration makes a difference. Having an all-of-the-above approach to voting makes a difference.
Wow, that's amazing. What drives you? Where'd you go to school? Where'd you grow up? You told us Florida, right? Mm-hmm. But I want to learn a little bit more about you.
I grew up in Florida, retired Navy captain dad, Eagle Scout, studied criminal justice, couldn't find a job, became a dog walker. While I'm a dog walker, worked at an elementary school. Obama gets reelected, moved to Texas to elect Governor Abbott. So, I mean, really, just a guy that wasn't going to be a victim, and I wasn't going to be a circumstance of a bad economy. And I looked at my surroundings, said, I want to be the change. And I completely transformed my life by having a willingness to say, okay, I'm going to do something and I want to be the change I want to see. I mean, it's not really, the only thing I want people to take away from my story is you choose and you make time for what you want in life. I'm dedicating my life to trying to preserve freedom for our country. That's how I'm going to spend, when I'm 80 years old, I will be doing this job. I'm not a flash in the pan. I want to be doing this for the next 50, 60 years of my life. I'll honor Charlie. That's why I'm wearing this shirt.
Yeah.
But we don't just honor somebody by wearing a shirt. We honor them through action. A shirt is good. Right. Action is better. Prayer is good. Prayer plus action is better.
Very cool. We're going to take a break. We'll come right back. Thank you.
Tired of media bias? Frustrated by political noise? PoliticIt.com cuts through the clutter, giving you real facts, clear analysis, and unbiased insight on the issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay empowered. Whether it's elections, policy changes, or breaking news, we've got you covered. No spin, no agendas, just truth you can trust. Visit PoliticIt.com today, because informed citizens shape the future. PoliticIt.com, where politics meets clarity.
Welcome back to PoliticIt. We've got Scott Presler here with us. Scott, thanks for coming. It's awesome what you're doing. I mean,
thank you.
We talked just a little bit about Pennsylvania. You were in Butler, weren't you?
Both at the, well, see, I don't like calling it it was an assassination attempt, but I don't like calling it that. I'm the eternal optimist. So I think of Butler as the miracle rally. That's what it was. We witnessed a miracle. President Trump, at the precise moment, turned his head to look at a graph, and what could have been the shot heard around the world turned into a country saved.
Right.
And the fortitude and courage it took for a man to return to the site of what could have been his assassination, I think was very powerful.
And you were there then, too.
I was there. Well, because we register voters. 13% of Trump rally goers are not registered to vote.
Wow.
And think about it, in the work that I do, 30% of Christians are not registered to vote. We need our beautiful Christians and people of faith to vote in every single election. If everybody voted their biblical values, we would never lose an election ever again. 30% of hunters are not registered to vote. If every Second Amendment enthusiast voted, we would never lose an election ever again. And so I was there registering voters. I'm in shorts, I'm sweating my behind off, I'm registering everyone to vote. And I had the opportunity to sit out in the crowd. Laura Trump and Eric Trump come right before Donald Trump is going to speak. And my very good friend Laura, who changed my life in ways that I can't even verbalize, she invited me to speak on stage at the Butler rally. Now, I'm not wearing shorts, Senator. I'm wearing short shorts. I'm showing way too much thigh. And she has me come up there, and in front of 80,000 people, live, that you have the world's attention. I was very thoughtful. I breathed deeply. I centered myself. I focused, and I knew this was my one shot at having the world's ear before the most important election of our lives. And I honored my father and mother first. First statements out of my mouth. And then I encouraged
Can you remember
people.
what you said?
I can remember exactly what I said because I've watched it a million times. and just, gratefulness, thankfulness. I believe in putting gratitude in your attitude, gratitude. And I said, I encourage everyone to go to vote.pa.gov, register to vote, and check your voter registration status. And as I mentioned to you, I'm very consistent. I talked about our hunters, our truckers, our sorority sisters, our fraternity brothers, our Amish. I spoke to every group at that moment, knowing everyone was going to hear me. And I asked everyone to vote early and to vote on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. And those 2 minutes, I used every second. It was significant, and I'm forever grateful for that opportunity. Because hopefully it made a difference, and ultimately we did win.
How'd you connect to Laura Trump?
I've known Laura for a few years now. And see, the thing is, when you have these connections with a senator or something like that, this is all about trust. This is about mutual respect. And Laura and Eric had even called me back in 2020 because they saw I was doing the work. But I don't post on social media, hey, Laura Trump just called me. No, that's not cool. And so we had a relationship, and Laura Trump became the co-chair of the RNC, Republican National Committee, the second most powerful entity within the RNC. And she knew the work we were doing in PA. She saw we were at every rally. We were registering voters, getting people to sign up for mail-in ballots. And so I thank her for using her platform to elevate my voice on behalf of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which is now my home.
Oh, very cool. You got a shirt on there.
I do.
Freedom.
It doesn't say Edom. This says because of my hair. This is a very special shirt here in the state of Utah, and I hope to visit while I'm here in town the memorial to honor our friend, to honor Charlie Kirk, and the way that we honor him is not just with our lips. It's not just by throwing a shirt on our back. It's, I think I can say firmly that Charlie would want us to be out registering voters and securing the midterm elections for Donald J. Trump and keeping the House majority. I need every single person to register, to check your status, and to make a plan to vote on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026. This is one of the most critical midterms of our lives.
I totally agree. And it's the matter of getting the right people out, right? If we simply get out people whose voice matters in Utah, been here for a long time, we've got, you said there's certain groups that just don't show up like they should.
Well, and let's be clear, everyone's voice matters.
Oh yeah, right.
And the people, quite frankly, should be happy. Inflation is going down. House prices are becoming more reasonable. We have a secure border. We're deporting criminal illegal aliens. We're apprehending narco terrorists. We're bringing jobs back to our country. We're fighting for peace globally. I mean, gosh, could anybody be mad at global peace? Well, I guess the Democrats, but we have so many good things that have happened in 1 year. I think we must reflect upon President Trump as keeping his promises to the American people. And if they are happy with them, that people must vote. But we are the low propensity party. We are hunters. We are churchgoers. We are moms and dads. We are construction workers. We are union workers. We are working class America. Now, here in the state of Utah, correct me if I'm wrong, every person gets a mail-in ballot, so there's no excuse why people can't either vote on election day, vote early in person, or vote by mail. I need every Utahn to come out in the June 23rd primary and on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026. You see, I know you people. I've studied you. June 23rd. If you're not happy with your local Republican representation, and see, I'm a good boy. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to name names while I'm here on your podcast. But let's just say that if you're unhappy with your current representation, the way that you make positive, constructive change is you register as a Republican and you vote in primaries. That's how we can hold people accountable. You know that.
Absolutely. Well, so what's this organization that you're working with right now?
Yes. Well, I am the founder and executive director, just a fancy way of saying Early Vote Action is my baby, right. earlyvoteaction.com. And I founded it because of 2022. I'm not going to belabor the point. Machines in Arizona in 2022 went down on election day. Factual. In Nevada, it snowed on election day. Factual. In Pennsylvania, they ran out of paper ballots in Luzerne County, Pennsylvania on election day. Factual. And so I went, okay, we're the low propensity party. Things have a tendency to happen on election day. So why don't we have an all of the above approach to voting, i.e. earlyvoteaction.com, and maybe we'll start winning some more elections. Dave McCormick won his election by 15,000 votes. Pennsylvania is the only state to deliver a senator in the swing state in 2024. Arizona didn't. Wisconsin didn't. Michigan didn't. Nevada didn't. Pennsylvania did. Voter registration makes a difference. The work that we do at earlyvoteaction.com makes a difference.
Very good. Yeah, and what would be some parting thoughts you have for people in Utah? We're about out of time, so.
If you are unhappy with rogue judges deciding your future, then help us collect signatures to repeal Prop 4 and get a voice for the people. Have a voice. This is an opportunity for Utahns to have an actual choice. Yeah, this is Utahns for representative government. So ufrg.org. That's UF as in Frank, rg.org. And I want to thank the Utah GOP for actually having an opposition to this that we didn't have in 2018. And I want to thank Chairman Axson for having me in the state. And I also want to make it clear to any opposition out there, I'm here free of charge. I'm not even charging for conditioner for my hair. That's a big deal. I'm here free of charge in this state because I care about this. I could be anywhere. I went to Indiana because I care. I went to Florida because I care. I'm here in Utah because I care.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great having you. This is really an awesome effort, and we appreciate you being here in Utah.
Am I the first person to ever do this that much? I don't mean to. I talk with my hands.
No. That's okay. Scott Presler, thank you. We'll see you guys next week.